All right, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be working on lesson 4 for our online Bits and Bytes club. Today's lesson will also be in Scratch. Next week we'll change to a couple different mediums so that you guys can play around with other online sources that you can use at home, but today we will stick with Scratch. What we're going to be doing is doing a costume change, so it will be really fun because you'll get to play with that costumes tab a little bit more and see what you can do besides just work with the blocks. So just a reminder, our lesson schedule, we're going to have new lessons posted on Monday and Wednesday mornings, and then we'll have our Q&A sessions at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just a note on this, these Q&A sessions are really important for getting feedback on how you guys are using the technology, working through the lessons, what's working for you and what's not. If we need to, if there's a need for it or enough kids, we can switch to live demos, but for now this is the this is what we're going to go with until we hear otherwise from you guys. So it's very important that you guys start joining us for the sessions if you can, if that works into your schedule. And also if it doesn't, if 4 p.m. is too late or right in the middle of homework time or something we're doing at home, we're all on different schedules right now. So that's also feedback we could use. We could do a live session maybe earlier in the day. That's just something we need to hear back from you guys about what's working and what's not. So just a reminder, you have to register for the Q&A sessions, and once you register, you'll be sent a link so that you can join us at that time. Note that when I say 4 p.m., I do mean 4 p.m. I won't log on before then. I am also a student, so I have other responsibilities and obligations on my time. So I will log on at 4 and be available for you guys, but I won't be able to log on before then, again, unless we get feedback and need to change things around. So you'll use this bit.ly link on your screen that I'm gonna circle for us. So this is the link you need to use to register. It's just signing up with an email so that we can send you a secure link so that our Q&As stay secure. And then if you haven't downloaded it, you can go to Zoom.us and download the app there, and it takes a few seconds. It's pretty easy. It doesn't take too much work. You should not have to create an account to use Zoom. The only thing we ask is when you log in as a user, you use your first name or an actual nickname, not anything silly, so that we can actually call you by your name. Okay, so clear all, exit out of that, keep going. All right, so now that we're done with that, these are our links to get the activity today. We will be posting the activities with English and Spanish translations when we have them available. I tried to pick as many as possible that we already had translated. And if you haven't seen, there are ways to have captions up that are in another language. You just turn on your closed caption button on the YouTube screen, and then next to it go to settings, and you can change your caption language from there. We have instructions posted on our main page where this video is hosted online. So I speak and read English. It's the only language I know, so I will be working from the English document. So I'm going to exit out of the PowerPoint and go type that into a browser. So I'm going to go type that into Safari, and I'm going to squeeze it down so that you guys can still see the links while I'm typing. So over here in my address bar, I'm going to type the link for the English document, and it's all lowercase. These bit.ly links are very sensitive, so make sure that you're copying them down exactly. And then once I'm here, this is the document for the English version. The Spanish version will pretty much be the same, but it's going to be in Spanish. So I'm just going to hit the download button here, and it's downloaded and automatically opened for me. If it doesn't automatically open for you, that's okay. Just go into your downloads folder. That's usually pretty standard for if you're working on a Mac or a Windows computer. Whatever you download is normally set to go to your downloads folder. So if you're on the Mac, you can just go here to your docking station here and scroll down until you find it. It will be towards the bottom because it starts with a VL. All right. So I'm going to minimize this window for now because we don't really need it anymore. And we're going to switch back over to the costume change document. All right. So the only thing you'll need today material-wise is your computer and internet access. Obviously, you already have both those because you're watching this. So today, this activity is kind of made around Halloween. So we're going to have somebody throwing kind of a party, and they're going to switch costumes and get ready for their party. It's a lot of, you should be getting used to it now if you've done Scratch before, if you've been following the videos. We're going to start off with some of our basic steps. So I'm going to pull up a browser. I'm using Chrome today. You can use, I think Chrome or Firefox are up to date and are compatible with Scratch. I don't think Internet Explorer is not compatible, and sometimes Safari has issues. So Firefox or Chrome are usually your best bet for this. So I'm going to type in Scratch in my URL bar here, hit enter, go to create. So on Chrome, I'm signed into my account, so I don't get the tutorials window that pops up, but if you do, it won't do it there. If you do, just go ahead and hit the white close button over, it's probably over here in the corner, and then go ahead and delete the default cat sprite. We're going to have different sprites. Alrighty? And today will be a little tricky because we're going to have lots of sprites. So I need you to really pay attention to what I'm clicking on and pause the video as you need. You do not have to watch this all in one go. We're recording it so that you can work at your own pace through the video. So you can pause or back up as you need. All right, so our first step in the activity guide tells us that we're going to add both a backdrop and a bunch of sprites. So first we're going to choose our backdrop, right? So I think if you scroll down further, or I will since it's on my screen, yeah, so I'm gonna look for this background that has the balloons and the party. You can do whatever you want. That's the one I'm gonna go with. Usually with these activities, I will follow the guide. If there's room for you guys to kind of personalize it, I'll let you know. There are some things where the code is specific towards what you're using, so it's not the best plan, but you can always try it. So let's see, balloons, party, go figure. All right, so here comes the tricky part. We worked with one sprite in the last few lessons. This time we're gonna have, I think, 5 sprites. All right, so we're going to, the first one we're gonna do is add Dinosaur 4, okay? So I'm gonna come to the choose a sprite button and click it, and I'm just going to save time. We're gonna practice using the search bar today. I'm gonna type in Dinosaur, oops, and there was a typo. So I want Dinosaur 4, which is this T-Rex. Just had a heart attack and thought we weren't recording. We are. All right, so now we have Dinosaur 4. I'm not gonna do anything yet. I'm gonna go get all of the sprites we need. So we're gonna have Dinosaur 4. We're also gonna add milk to our screen. Don't worry about that. I know it seems weird. There's going to be a purpose for it in a little bit. So go back into choose a sprite, and I'm going to type in milk in my search bar and click on milk. Oh, look, she does a little dance. Don't worry about them being on top of each other right now. Just hold on a second. And then we're going to add goblin back in our browser. Choose a sprite. And again, today I'm typing. If scrolling and looking for things is easier for you guys, you can, but we have a lot of steps, so typing these names in the search bar is a lot easier for me to do, so that this video doesn't go on too long. So next we want princess. And then penguin 2, and then a witch. Okay. Penguin 2, and then finally the witch. Okay, so when you're done, you should have, can I make this taller here? No, I can't make that bigger. But down here you should have Dinosaur 4, Milk, Goblin, Princess, Penguin 2, and a Witch. All right? All right, okay, so now we're gonna move on to step 2. There's a lot of reading here. I'm not gonna read these to you step by step. I've done this activity before, so I can draw the information I need. Also, if I get something wrong, it's a good chance to go debug the code. But what we do need to make sure, when the program starts, we want to hide. Okay, so when the party's going to be at the dinosaur's house, so the friends aren't going to be there yet when the program starts. So we're going to write some code that is going to go on all of them so that they're not visible on our screen when we first start. So go ahead and start with the goblin, and then you're going to go to your events drawer on the left and grab the when green flagged clicked button, and then you're going to go to the looks drawer. And actually, do we have, pause 1 second for me. It's been a minute. Okay, yes, we will take care of that later. Okay, so back in our browser, we're gonna go to the purple looks drawer and look for the hide block and attach that there. And this is gonna be our starting code for all of our guests. So our guests are the goblin, the princess, the penguin, and the witch. So I'm going to teach you guys a trick. We're gonna grab this yellow block with our cursor and drag it down onto the princess. You see how it's kind of hard to tell on my screen, but you can see the princess wiggled in the background. And I'm going to release it. So you see the code jumped back over here, right? It's still on my goblin, but now if I click on the princess, there's got to be a way to make this taller. Okay, maybe if I, yes, okay. So now if I click on the princess, you'll see that the when green flagged clicked and hide blocker here. So that's a very easy way to copy code that's going to be used on all your sprites to the different sprites. So we're going to do that again in case you missed it. We're going to grab that yellow block so that we get the whole code block, and then come hover over the penguin. You saw how the penguin shook there a second. That means that I can drop it. I'm going to go click on the penguin. That code will be here. And so one more time on the witch. We're going to drag it, hover on the witch, release, and it's there on the witch. So make sure that you have that when green flag clicked and hide block on all your guest sprites. So the goblin, the princess, the penguin, and the witch. Okay, so once you have that done, we're going to move on to step 3. All right, so we're going to do some adjustments to our guests because they're kind of facing the wrong way. They're really big. They're maybe all stacked on top of each other. So we're going to move some things around. I'll click on okay, so we're going to start with the goblin. So let's click with the goblin sprite. And actually, because this is bothering me and hard to see, I'm going to drag my guests over here. We'll probably move them around in a little bit, but for now, this is where I'm going to drag them so that they're over here and put my other people over here. Okay, so now we can see everybody. I'm going to click on the goblin. Okay, so now we've got the goblin clicked. We're going to come over here to the top left of our screen and click on the costumes tab. And you can see here on the left, there are different costumes for the goblin. We're going to set the goblin default costume for this program to be Goblin B, so that he's happy, smiley, and wavy. And then we're going to switch back to our code tab. And that's all we're going to do with the goblin for now. All right, so once we've done that with the goblin, we're going to do that for our 3 other sprites. So on the princess, I'm highlighting the princess, and then I'm clicking into the costumes, and we're going to look at all her different faces and poses she can do. I kind of think the first one or the second are probably the friendliest ones she has. I'm going to stick with Princess A. All right, and then you don't have to switch back to the code tab. You can just click on Penguin 2, and you can change the Penguin 2 face. So he can face that way. He can face that way, not be smiling. I kind of like Penguin 2D, so I'm going to leave him on Penguin 2D. And then finally, I'm going to come back to our sprites panel and click on the witch. And so she'll appear here. I think we're going to go with which bee. Yep, I'm going to go with which bee. All right, so now I have all the poses chosen, and we're going to go back into the code tab. All right, if you can hear that, I'm sorry, my computer, I've been in online classes all day and virtual chats with work. My computer's a little warm right now, so I apologize if you're getting feedback from the fan trying to cool it off. Okay, so we're gonna click back on the goblin. And this is the important part. So if we wanna add code to a certain sprite, that sprite has to be active, which means it's highlighted in blue like this with the trash can visible. So I'm clicked on the goblin, and now we're gonna add this code over here that says, when I receive a message, I'm going to set, we're gonna make it a little smaller and set it to show, all right? So on the, we're gonna go back to our browser. We're gonna go to the events. We want this when I receive a message block, drag that into our workspace. I'm gonna set it right next to what I had before. You guys can set it underneath, whatever works best for you. And then we're gonna go to the look drawer, and we want the set size to, it'll default to 100. For the goblin, we're gonna change that to 90. And what was the last block? We want them to show. So that's still in the purple looks drawer. We're just gonna grab that show block. Okay, so we are repeating that process on the penguin, witch, and princess. So I'm going to do what we did before to copy this code. I don't want to have to keep going back into the drawers and dragging it out. Or I'm going to grab the top of my yellow block here and drag it onto the princess. Okay, so after I do that, I'm going to click on the princess in the sprite panel, and oh no, there it is. Okay, so mine, if you saw that, when I did that, it dragged my block on top of what was already there. Don't panic, it might have done the same to you. So I'm just gonna move those around so that they're both visible. And the princess size is going to be set to 50%. So that's all we're changing here. We're gonna click inside that set size and type in 50. And then again, I'm gonna copy this block to the penguin. Click on the penguin icon. Separate my block stack. There we go, so now they're separate. And on this one, we want the penguin to be set to 80%. Okay, so in that bubble, we're gonna type in 80, and then we're gonna copy it by doing the drag and drop method to the witch. And again, I'm moving it off what was already there. And the witch is also going to be at 50% like the princess. So we just type in 50 there. Okay. So now we get to why there's a milk carton in our activity. So the milk carton, we obviously don't really need a giant milk carton in the middle of our party, but we do need a changing space for our character. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go back into the costumes tab. Well, first, my bad. First, we're clicking on the milk sprite, and then we're gonna go into the costumes tab. And we're gonna get rid of a bunch of stuff. So how do you do this? Well, we're gonna make sure this arrow is clicked. Okay, so this blue arrow needs to be highlighted. This will let us click on certain elements. So I'm gonna click on this top rectangle that's a dark red, and you see how it's highlighted? I'm going to then come up here and hit the delete button, and that's gone, because we want it to be a 3-panel changing station. I'm gonna do that for the next few squares, so this red panel I've highlighted. You can hit this delete button, or using your keyboard, you can hit the delete button on your keyboard, whichever one you wanna do. Okay, we deleted that one. Let me check the picture. Yes, so we don't want this shadow over here. We're gonna delete that one, and then finally we're gonna delete the white square there. And we're gonna change the name of the sprite over here in our little control panels area to changing what? Sorry guys, clicked on a button That shouldn't be there. There we go. That's gone now. Okay, we're going to change it to changing screen. And then what else are we changing it to? So step 6, we're kind of going to mush step 5 and 6 together. So we're going to change step 6 over in this active panel here. You're going to type in on the X here, we're going to place it at 115. So if you've done any work with graphs or maps in school, these are kind of our coordinates. So our X coordinate puts us either further right or left, and our Y coordinate will put us up or down. So our Y needs to be at -40. Okay, and then I think I saw we were changing the size. Yes, we're going to increase the size to 200. Oops. Okay, so automatically made it bigger. I think we're done with that sprite now. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to go back on our browser to the code tab, and I believe we want to click on the dinosaur. The dinosaur should be active now. Okay. All right, so the first thing we need to do is position our dinosaur where we want him. So we're going to go back into our window and grab from the event drawer, grab the when green flag clicked button, and then go to motion. And is it set or go to? Go to X and Y. So we're going to grab this go to X and Y block here. Right now mine is set to 24, -24. We are going to change that to -115 and -50. So back in my workspace in the X, I'm going to type in a -115, and then in the Y, I'm going to type in a -50. And if you don't know where the negative button is, it's right up by the 0 on your keyboard. So while you guys do that, I'm just going to look at number 8 to review. Okay, so we are ready to go on that one. All right, so now we're going to go to the looks drawer, and we want this think block. We've used the say block in another activity. This time we want the think block. We're going to bring that over here. And then we're going to have it type, it's time to get ready for the costume party. Right, so in here, I'm going to click in that white space. You see one click will highlight it, and then I'm just going to type, it's time to get ready for the party. If you are new to typing, go ahead and pause so you can copy what's on the screen or the activity sheet to your block. That's okay. I've been typing for a lot of years. I'm a little faster. And then when you're done with that, restart the video and pick up where you left off. Okay, so we're going to leave that at 2 seconds. And then we're going to go get a costume block that says right here. So just 2 blocks underneath that think block in the looks drawer. We're going to get switch costume, and it will default to dinosaur 4D. We want to switch it to dinosaur 4B. And then I know we're going to go back to the motion drawer. I'm not sure what we're getting. We're going to get glide 1 second to changing screen. Okay, so the glide option is here in the motion drawer, blue, the top one. We're going to click and drag it to our block. We're not going to change that glide 1 second. We're going to change this by hitting this drop down arrow where I'm kind of hovering over, and we're going to look for changing screen. So you'll see that you can either have it move to a random position that's chosen by the computer or follow your mouse pointer. I think we have done that, and we did that in the Ada Lovelace activity. Or you can have it go to one of your other sprites. So we want it to go to the changing screen. Okay, so we're just gonna pause real quick, and I'm gonna hit the green flag and let you see what happens now. So I'm hitting the green flag. Our guest disappeared. He said his thing. We're now behind the screen. And that's all that's gonna happen because that's all we've coded. All right, so back in our activity sheet, we're on to step 9. This is a bit longer activity, guys, so just bear with me. There are a lot of steps. I will go as fast as we can. Well, as slow and as fast as we can, so that you're not getting too bored with it. Okay, so on step 9, we are still going to be working with the dinosaur. We're not changing back to anyone else for a while, okay? So we're going to click, oh, I lied. So we're going to click, we need to do one little hiccup with the changing screen. It's possible, based on how you added your sprites, that the milk carton that is now our changing screen is actually behind our dinosaur. So you're going to come back and click on the changing screen, and we're going to get, which block are we going to get? We're going to get the win green flag clicked block from the event drawer, and then we're going to go to looks. I believe we're getting, yes. We're going to scroll, you're going to have to scroll down in the looks drawer for this one. We're going to get this go to front layer block. And what that will do is make sure that if for whatever reason your dinosaur ends up in front, if it did, this will prevent that from happening. Okay, so now go back to the dinosaur. And now we're going to make our costume. And this is the part that a lot of kids really like to do. So we're going to go into the costumes tab back in our browser. And let's see. We're going to click on Dinosaur 4C. So that's right under 4B. So we want 4C. And we're changing the name of the sprite over here from Dinosaur 4 to Dino Gamer. Okay. All right, and now we're going to change our costume. It might look a little familiar to you. I'm not going to follow this necessarily step by step. Well, I will, but I'm not going to refer back to the activity sheet while I do this. I'm just going to walk you through it in the workspace. So the first thing we're going to do is change our dinosaur's legs. Now you're probably wondering how we do that. For this one, the easiest thing to do is come click on the paint bucket and then come to our fill color. And using these tools, you can choose what color you want. So I'm going to bring color all the way to 100. And I'm going to bring saturation up. I'm going to set saturation up. And now I'm going to change it back to a blue. Okay. So now that I have that blue picked, I'm going to click off so that that drop down is deactivated. You'll see how I hover over sections and different things turn blue. That's how we're going to change his legs blue. So I clicked on that one and now it's blue. And I'm clicking on the second one and that'll stay blue. You can make whatever you want blue. I'm going to follow the activity sheet. So if you guys want to watch this and learn how the editing tools work, that's fine too. And then you can go make your own. So just a reference, what's the next thing I'm going to do? I am actually going to draw his suit first before I do the hat. So I'm going to come click on the paintbrush, and I still want that fill color to be blue. So I'm going to draw his little workout suit. And mine might not be very good, but that's okay. I'm also going a little fast, so I'm not going to worry about filling in all these spaces today. You can make this as perfect as you want. It is your project. Okay, so I'm going to imitate some, I'm going to imitate some overall things. So if we have any gamers in the group, you guys might start to recognize who our costume is based off of. Okay, I lied. I'm coloring that in a little bit more. It was bothering me. And now I want to change his shirt. I want to add a shirt underneath there. So I'm going back to my color and I'm going to make it red. And I'm just going to, as best I can, draw the idea of a shirt here. I think I made his outfit come up a little high, but that's okay. So what else is on his shirt? We have some little dots. Oh, so they did. So we did his arms here because his arms have sleeves. You can use the paint bucket for some of this, like the arms. I'm just going to draw it freehand. And then he has little buttons. So I'm going to go back to the fill color and hit that. Kind of get between the gold, the yellow and the orange to get as close as we can to a gold color. All right. And then, okay, so the hat looks tricky. I promise you it's not. I'm going to skip the shoes and everything, but you can use this paintbrush to draw shoes. But I'm going to show you how to do the hat real quick. So you're just going to come hit the circle tool and then again do the fill button. and just draw an oval like that. I'm gonna place them on his head, and you see these little circles, these little anchor points? That's how we're gonna get the hat shape. So we're gonna bring this top one in. I'm gonna double click. No, hold on 1 second. Oh, we don't wanna have the circle still active. We wanna come over here and hit the arrow. And now I'm gonna double click on this. Maybe there's a hint over here, hold on. Use the reshape. Okay, I was wrong. We don't want the click arrow. We want the reshape arrow right here. Now you'll see that the anchor points are active. So I'm gonna draw this in, kind of make it funny. So I push the other one in, and I'm gonna pull this top one out. So we kind of have that lip, right, where the hat goes up. And now I'm going to go back to the circle tool and draw a smaller red oval, and that's how we get the front of the cap here. Oh, I forgot. So we wanted that part of the hat to come down. I'm gonna go back to select the top of the hat, grab the reshape arrow, and bring this part down a little bit. All right, so that looks kind of like a baseball cap, right? Or another hat, sort of. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect, and I don't feel like drawing the D today, but you guys can follow these letters so that you can draw one. I'm gonna leave my sprite at this and go on to the next step, okay? So we're gonna go back to step 3, and we're gonna be working with code with the dinosaur. So click on the code button. We're gonna leave that there. And the first thing we want is we're gonna get another when green flagged click button. So you can use as many of these green flagged click options as you want, as long as that's how you want your program to run. The other ones, if you're going to, sorry guys, if you're going to use those, they require, you need to be very specific in what they're setting off and doing in your program. Oh wait, we're not drawing a new block, we're adding on. Delete that. Okay, so now under our glide option, we're gonna get an if-then statement from our control panel. So go to your left and go to the light orange control panel. Grab this if-then statement. And then we're gonna go to a new one, I think. This is our sensing drawer over here. And we want to do the touching. Yes, we want to do touching. So this is gonna be if our dinosaur is touching the changing screen, something is going to happen, okay? So what's going to happen? Well, we're going to change our costume. So if we don't do this if-then statement, it's kind of, you can change the costume, but it's not necessarily as controlled or as specific. So we're giving it a very detailed situation of when we're changing our costume so that he's in a good spot to change his costume, okay? So inside, we're on step 14. So inside that block, we're gonna have him pause for just a second. So that's back in the control drawer. And what this does is it makes it so that you can kind of see your code working. Otherwise, the computer will run really fast and you won't see it. And then we're gonna go to the purple drawer and do the switch costume. So we want to do the switch costume right here. And all of this is going inside our if statement, and we're gonna switch it to our costume, which did not change for me. Why? I don't know. I don't know. That's okay. If yours didn't change, that's okay. Just hit Dinosaur 4C, and that should do it. We'll see. I might be re-recording this. All right. Then we're gonna go to, this is a new drawer for us, the sound drawer, which is right under looks. And we want this start sound. And we're just gonna leave it at pop because it doesn't need to be a whole big thing yet. It's just gonna be like a, oh, it changed. That's gonna be your like audio clue that it changed. And then we're gonna go into our motion drawer, right? So this is important because we're gonna have our dinosaur face his friends when he comes in. And so we want to make sure that when he does turn, that he's turning and standing in the right direction. Sometimes if you do this, they will turn, but they will also flip upside down and be standing on their head. It's not really what we want. You are free to let that happen if you think it will be funny, but I'm gonna come down to the motion drawer and almost at the very bottom, get this set rotation style. And you see it's already set from left to right. So that's how it'll just turn normally from left to right. We're gonna leave it like that. And then we're gonna look for this point and direction block, which was closer right here, point and direction. And I do think we want to leave it at, we're gonna turn that one to -90. So normally I just click once in here. You can either click again in front of the 9 and type the negative, or you can use this cursor and drag it to the opposite direction. So right there with the arrow pointing towards the left is -90. And then we're going to glide. I'm doing a lot of gliding. So we're gonna glide to -50 and -40. Grab the glide block. If you didn't see that, it was just right up here in my motion drawer. And I'm changing the X to a -50 and the Y is staying the same. So it stays at a -40. All right. Oh, take a break. All right, so on 15, you remember how we had them send a message earlier? Well, we are going to create that message now. So you're gonna go into your events drawer and broadcast message 1. So it's second from the bottom of the events section. And then our dinosaur is going to greet his friends and we're gonna play some music. Okay, so we're going to go back to the looks drawer, grab this say hello for 2 seconds. Sorry, that keeps happening. We're gonna leave it at say hello. You can have them say something else if you want. And then the play sound is in our sound drawer. And we're gonna need to add a sound. So this step, really pay attention to what I do. So we added the play sound. And you can record if you have a microphone and wanna do that, but I'm gonna go to the sounds up here and I'm going to choose a sound and we're doing dance magic, I believe. So there are a lot of sounds in there, but I want dance magic. And then I'm gonna switch back to our code tab, hit this drop down button, and it's dance magic. All right, so if you've run the dinosaur, is probably already in his costume walking towards the changing screen. Okay, so once you run your code once, it might not change back. So we're going to insert a couple little things back up at the top. So we're going to go to the very top of our code block here on the dinosaur, and we're gonna go to switch costume. We wanna get another switch costume block and set it to the default of dinosaur 4A. And then we're gonna go to motion drawer and get point and direction and another actually no, we just need the point and direction block, my bad. So go to the motion drawer and we're gonna get the point and direction. Mine is set to 90 already. If yours isn't, go ahead and change it to 90. And I believe that's all we need to do. Let me do a quick check. Okay, so this should work. I'm gonna run it on my screen for you guys. So that worked. My people came out kind of small. So if you guys don't like how that looks, you can play around with it. I might go switch those sizes. I think 50 was too small. I think on Princess, I would set it to maybe 70, and same with the Witch. So there's a little debugging for us. And kind of group them closer together. This is just me being picky. The code worked fine. You guys can have them placed however you want. I'm gonna rerun that. Okay, I like that a little bit better. All right, so now that we've done the party, that's it for the activity I'm gonna walk you through. We have the adventure mode down here, so now you guys can use those costumes tools to do the background. It's kind of the same thing. You can just come over here and highlight your background to make sure the stage is highlighted, and then hit backdrops, and you can use those tools that I showed you to go through and do it. If something wasn't clear, definitely log online tomorrow and ask me about it, because I'm sure that's new to a lot of you. So you can add more to the story, like You could add in a cake to show up, play with the music and sounds a little bit more. You could have your characters dance, or maybe just have one character dance. You have learned enough in this activity to kind of explore with that and figure it out. Or you can draw your own custom sprite. So to do that, you'll just hover over the cat icon and hit the paintbrush. And you can draw your own sprite from there and make your own character. Same with the backdrop. You can paint your own backdrop. That's what that paint means, is that you can work on it by yourself. So yeah, that's it. I know I'm very awkward when I end these things. I'm going to close out of this. So we will be online tomorrow, Thursday, March 26th at 4 to go over the Q&A. And yeah, no, that's not how we end things. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and log on to that. And if you need that link one more time, it's right here. My favorite link right here. Go ahead and register there. We will not be spamming your email. You will get, hopefully, no more than 2 emails a week with the link to the lesson in it, to the Q&A, and then you will be able to log on and ask us questions about the lesson, have us help you troubleshoot or debug the program, and offer suggestions about what we could do or if there's a problem with something, all right? So I hope to see you guys on Thursday. Have fun with this, and good luck with school.